Hey guys, and welcome back to Rathlin Island. Here in day 9 of late autumn. And I must say that recorded the last video. I was not expecting to be recording this one. But times have gotten a little exciting here. We are in the morning of day 9. As you can see, it is raining. And we have, obviously, wet crop. Well, this is what's happened since we last together. I finished harvesting the soybeans over on field 8, and then still had some daylight, so I came over here and started harvesting a little bit of the beans here on field 25, and we kind of stopped harvesting around 9 p.m. on the 7th. So at that point we went to bed. Got up bright and early, 6 a.m., and got back into the harvester. Started harvesting, and not 2 hours later did the rain come. Put a complete halt on the harvesting. Got about 2/3 of the field done, actually. Moving along quite nicely. And then the rain came, and it only rained for about 2 hours. And at that point it stopped. And, well, we've had a wet crop condition since around midday yesterday. So, around midday is when the rain stopped yesterday. All yesterday afternoon was bright and sunny, but did not do anything to dry out our crops. Couldn't harvest yesterday afternoon. Couldn't harvest yesterday into the late evening. Finally, around 9 p.m. again, I went ahead and hit the hay and got up this morning and, well, bright and early, 6 a.m., and this is what I see. See cloudy skies and rain. So I am seriously now worried that we are not going to get a dry crop condition before winter. And the soybeans that we still have in the field are going to be lost. I'm not really sure what we're going to do other than just play it by ear here and see and hope that it stops raining soon and that the sun comes out in force, and once that happens we can get a few hours of late afternoon to finish off our crop of soybeans. But in the meantime, we've got stuff to do. We've got milk to haul across the sound to the dairy operation. We have some eggs to collect and take up to our lighthouse guy, and just some general farm work to do while we hope and pray that the rains stop early enough this morning that we get enough sunlight to well, to do what we need to get done here. So just thought I'd bring you guys in and give you the rundown on where we are now. Probably will break and come back if the rains ever stop with an update that rain stopped. But honestly, I don't know what it's going to do. I'm kind of at a loss. But, we'll make a couple runs across the sound, emptying the milk here, taking it to the dairy so we can keep that operation up and running, because it is fairly good money as far as you know, converting the milk to homogenized milk and to cheese for sell point at the grocery. So, what's in Farm Sim news? Well, today is July 24th. This video should come out next Friday, which will be maybe August 3rd, if I'm remembering the dates correctly without looking at a calendar. And today we had our first dev blog post about 19, and quite the interesting information was given related to the 3 starting levels. It seems that gone is easy, normal, and hard, And in its place, we have a difficulty level called First Farmer, a difficulty level called Farm Manager, and then a difficulty level called, remember what the last one's called. It's been tagged as hardcore mode. Really don't recall what the last one worded. But it kind of talks about some of the things that we've mentioned earlier in previous videos before this information came out. Of course, the videos are going to come out after the information's come out. I get comments talking about, well, you know, they announced this on Friday. Yeah, I have announced this on Friday, but the video you're watching was recorded 2 weeks ago. So it was not established news then. At any rate, yeah, with First Farmer mode, we have the traditional farm sim starting. Start with a farm that exists. Start with some amount of fields. Start with some amount of money, and you start with some amount of equipment. Now, of course, with 19, you don't buy fields, you buy regions or areas or zones. So with First Farmer mode, you basically start out by owning a zone. Start out by owning buildings that are already placed in the zone. And you start out owning equipment that, just like, you know, your base starting equipment on the map. In Farm Manager mode, you start owning no property other than having a nice wad of cash. And buy your own zone, put down your own buildings, and you can buy your own equipment. And basically what you want. So that is kind of akin to basically what we're doing now, or what lots of folks do now with respect to starting a map and selling off all the starting equipment, maybe going in using a money cheat or editing the save game XML to basically change around your starting fields to whatever you want to start with, and then either giving yourself a wad of cash or going in and just keeping the money from selling all your stuff. And then basically you can manage your farm however you wish. But the difference is with 19 is it sounds like you're going to have the not the ability to, but you're going to need to put down your own buildings. So you design your farm however you wish. And then with the hardcore mode, it's basically the same as Farm Manager mode, except your cash is much more limited. And it sounds like you start with nothing, except for maybe a very modest amount of money. And probably maybe enough to buy a pickup truck or a small cheap tractor, and basically maybe a small tract of land. You're basically gonna have to work your way up from there, earning enough money, maybe doing missions, to then buy your first small tract of land, slowly having enough money to build up your farm from very, very humble beginnings to something more grand, and really take into account a long-term play of the map. Is what it sounds like to me. Now, some folks may not be into that kind of a thing, simply because they're a churn and burn type map player, where they might put a week into a map and then off to the next project. And obviously that type of a difficulty level is not akin to that type of churn and burn play. But to each his own. You know, it's been folks in this farm sim community that have talked about wanting, you know, more hardcore gameplay out of the box, and it sounds like getting that. But for the others, there's still the first farmer. Now, you might not like the name of the difficulty level, because you might be like, I'm not a first-time farmer. I've played farm sim for years. Well, the difficulty level has really been set up for that first-time player, with the thought process that the new normal is the farm manager difficulty. You start with a very, very gracious amount of cash, and you basically build your farm up with that nice wad of cash. But for those that wish to have much more humble beginnings and really work your way up as if you're brand new to the country, an immigrant, don't have anything to your name but maybe what you could fit in your pockets and carry on your back, and you've come to make a go of it, and basically first few years of being here, you are a hired hand with somebody, just collecting money, hoarding it away, being careful with your expenses. You can buy your first little tract of land, buy your first small tractor, small cultivator and seeder. Maybe you've got to lease a harvester for that very first crop. And with those proceeds, maybe you can invest in something else. Over harvests, and you churn harvests and such, got more money, then buy another little tract of land. Maybe you can start building up your farm. So I'm really excited for it, like I said, but I'm also apprehensive because I'm worried that I'm not going to be imaginative enough to make each farm a really unique and diverse experience. But it's exciting news, and we're less than 4 months out now from the release date of 19. Good things are going to come. I don't know how often these blog posts are going to come out, but first one came out today, July 24th, which, based on when this video airs, is about a week and a half ago. But maybe, I doubt we're going to have another blog post before this video comes out, so it will still be somewhat relative. It's like the rain is starting to let up. It's a good thing. It's almost 9 a.m. So I'm going to go ahead and haul this other load of milk. I think we got another load to haul. I'm going to haul that other load of milk and do some just general farm work around the farmyard. And bring you guys back in when either one, we are back with dry crop and ready to harvest, or two, it's nighttime and we're about to witness a loss of crop. So, well, guys, it is almost 9 o'clock and we still have wet crop. Wishful thinking that we would get dry crop conditions today, but that is not going to happen. So it looks like we're going to lose part of our soybean field to Mother Nature. It's not going to happen this year. Could have maybe harvested a little bit more aggressive there. Had we known what was going on, we might have just harvested through the night till the job was done. Farmers have had to do that many a time when they knew there were adverse weather conditions coming, and basically work until it's done, and when it's done you can rest, but there's no rest until it's finished. We didn't think we would need to do that, so we just turned in, got up bright and early the next day to continue working, but that didn't gamble not work out. As you can see from our forecast into winter, have 2 clear days into early winter. Doesn't look like we might really have a frozen condition till midwinter. It's good. So hopefully we'll be able to get in and fertilize those soybean fields and be able to maybe cultivate under the crop that we lost, or we get frozen, basically before we get froze out of winter. Just going to go ahead and pull out some bales here and go ahead and feed them into our digester. Keep that up and running. See, we're fairly good with our money. 2,088,000 at this point. The way our money situation has been going, we should be over 2.1 million at the end of tomorrow, which is quite nice. It's kind of depressing that we did not manage to 16,000. 16 should be 20,000. Yep, 20,000. This load should bring us up to 22,000. Step. So we don't want to push them too far in there, or they will get reclaimed by the bale stack. So I could turn on lights. So guys, those of you that have been playing Seasons, what are you all, have you run into situations where you have run out of time? What kind of crops have you lost as a result of weather conditions? Well, those of you that followed my Churn Farm series know that we lost a fair heap of corn and soybeans in our final year playing Churn Farms. That was because we planted soon, and we basically lost the crop because we never got the required ground temperature. I think this is the first time maybe I've lost crop due to inability to get the harvest in. Yeah, 7. Won't be able to do 2 bales. 1 bale though. This is our first. Stab that on. First time I think we lost crop due to not being able to get the harvest in. And I do know that we're going to have people that say, well, you know, you could have just slowed the clock down to 1x and did your harvest. You know, say, I run 5x, but when I start to harvest, I change it to 1. And that's fine. It's definitely a choice that you have to make. I chose, and I'm trying to keep the clock here at 5x speed for normal gameplay, just to introduce some level of risk and some level of potential for loss, and for needing to be a little timely with our time management. I find it fun sometimes when I hear folks talk about Seasons and they play at 1x speed and the crunch to get everything accomplished time. And I think if you're playing at 1x speed, you've got all the time in the world, it feels like, to get done what you need to get done. So playing at a 5x or some other type of accelerated clock, you don't have all the time in the world. You are times where you need to rush, try to get things accomplished. So we're going to go ahead and still need to sell our eggs. We'll run up to the to the lighthouse. And try not to get blinded by the light, because inevitably the lighthouse keeper is going to be up there on top of the lighthouse again. Never seems to move. That's where he wants his eggs. So we'll bring them. There you can see some of the crop that we have lost. In fact, if I pull it up, there you can see on the mini map how much of the field was left to harvest. Probably about a third. As I said, the harvester sits exactly where he was when it started to rain. Haven't moved him. I don't even think we emptied the grain bin, because we had all hopes and all thoughts that we would be able to get back into the harvester and finish off that field, but not going to happen at this point. The way the ground is going to dry up in 3 hours now that the sun has gone down. Count our losses. Glad about the harvest that we are able to get in. Let's make what we got. It's much of what we're going to be able to do. I want to thank you guys for watching. This is going to be a little shorter video than normal, but I want to thank everybody for watching the video. If you liked the video, please click the like button. Not a subscriber, please think about subscribing. We are in our waning days on Rathlin Island. Days are definitely numbered. We'll play till the end of spring next year. We are now going into our 3rd winter. Remember, started watching this series from the beginning. Started the series in the middle of winter. But we are now at the start of our 3rd winter. So I'm going to play through the 3 winters and into our 2nd. This will be our 3rd spring. Started with 600 sheep in the first spring, and of our first year, I think we had 740 maybe sheep thereabout. Into our 2nd spring. And through our 2nd spring, we now have 875 sheep. With all likelihood that by the end of spring next year, we will have well over 1,000 sheep to care for. I think we started the game with 3.3 million or something. 3 million and some change that we brought over from Churn Farms. 24-day seasons play, where we play 2.5 years. 2 years and 3/4 thirds. 3/4, because we played, I think, into the end of autumn, that 3rd year. So, at the end of spring, we're going to cash out, sell the sheeps, sell the equipment off, see what we got, and see how much money we made. But sitting at 2 million now, knowing that we were pulling in about 50 grand in wool every day last spring. That's another $400,000, $500,000 just in wool. Then we'll have 1,000 sheep to sell, so that's going to bring it a bit. And our equipment, it's probably not going to bring in too much, simply because, back to the house, probably not going to bring in too much simply because of the amount of hours we've got. This tractor we've got 47 hours on. The other tractor we've got well over 90 hours on it. So pretty much wore these down. Not going to be much value at all. Trade them in. So again, once we come back. When we come back, it will be sometime winter. So if we'll do how many videos in winter we'll do, but we'll do a few. So until next time, happy farming.